All right. All right, guys, what is going on? What is good? What is good? Welcome to the stream today. Welcome to FAFO Friday. What's good, everyone? Still focused on 21,253 for NQ today. I think we're going to get that. I think we can do it. I don't usually recommend trading the laggard because of days like today, but I'm going to go with what I said earlier until proven wrong. And I can't take too much credit because I did talk about two different levels, so I'll keep it crispy with you. 21,151 and 21,253, but at 923, something like that, I did say that I'm wondering if NQ catches up here. Now, what does that mean, though? Well, if the other two indices are higher, then NQ, if it's going to catch up to the other indices, it's going to, basically I'm saying it's going to trade higher. And so I'll get into why I said that and why, even like why trading NQ today for me would be trash. I think you can kind of tell, but we'll talk about it. Okay. Now funny enough, and I was like, I'm not going to tell the stream this because that's what I did was retarded. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to tell him anyway because I'm imperfect and every futures trader has done this at least once. So we'll talk about it. All right. So what's good, everyone? Drop a like on the stream if you guys are ready to go. If you're ready to learn something today. If you like my choice of music. Sometimes y'all don't, and that's okay. But I listened to, I couldn't even tell you how many hours yesterday of drum and bass. Couldn't even tell you. A lot. It was a lot. Was good, Volterra? Was good, Naruto? What's first today? Bell, Jordan D. And Jordan, I dropped a link to the mix, by the way, in the chat. Was good, Toby, Jordan D. Marvelous, Convicted Capitalist, Shay Millie, Marshall, Carl, Alex C. Juan B. 2020, Slim. We got to get you a sniper badge. I don't know what happened. We got to fix that, Slim. Was good, Felix. Was good, Edmundo SMS. Was good, Justin. Justin is just in time. You probably heard that a million times before, but that's the first thing that came to mind. So I'm not always funny. Sometimes, but not always. So yeah, book of the month discourse is in selected writings. I'll get into that a little bit later. Don't let me forget. You guys always let me forget. Long to 3 golds at 3 a.m. The buy model, very nice. I think gold had fairly clean price action today, but I just wasn't feeling the metals today. I looked at them and I was just like, ugh. I didn't, I was like, fuck, I'm not going with that. Oh, nice. Slam just got paid. That's nice. Donate your whole check. Don't play it. Oh, that shit would be funny. Don't ever do that. Don't ever spend your last dime, on like YouTube shit or some sort of subscription like Netflix or anything. Don't ever fucking do that. Never. That's like rule number 1. Don't do dumb shit. And that's dumb. So how's that for a sales pitch? Don't buy my membership. All right. So yeah, back to what we were talking about before I started bullshitting around. If you look at NQ regular trading hours. Oh, full port. God. If you look at regular trading hours for NQ, all right, 21,253 is low resistant highs in my opinion. It would have been better if it was consolidation, but we really that price action in here is very just, we have a higher high here and we have lower lows. That's just kind of janky in my opinion, but I still think that's, you know, possible. I still think that's possible. For downside objective, because NQ is our weakest index today, despite Tesla hitting what I outlined yesterday, you're welcome, what I outlined months ago, what I outlined last year, actually. We'll get to that too. But anyway, NQ being weak, there was a possibility that we could get below the 151 level. And then again, after we did not, is when I told you that I'm wondering if we catch up. Okay. So we'll keep it on. Oh man, dude, I'm so hungry. Dude, my stomach is starting to punch my insides. I can just feel it. My stomach's like, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Why would you do this to me? I can feel it. All right. So, gap to 8:30 open. Gap down. We rallied. We don't actually complete the gap here. It looks like we're about to do that though. And that equity's open right at 8:30 ends up being a low. You're welcome, capitalist. And you're also banned for that. That low straight higher. So that ends up being a low. We make a lower low. Then we rally higher. Then we make what? Another one. Another one. So how many is that? 3. See that? Do you see that, chat? What's good, Dr. J? So the 1, 2, 3 formation lower, and we do not take the lows here, and we end up rallying off of that instead. So that's why I said, oh, I'm wondering if NQ catches up. Okay. Now this is where, you know, I really shouldn't be admitting this to you, but you know, I have to have transparency, right? Like I can't like hold shit from you. So I'm watching NQ and I thought I was logged into my paper account because I was, yeah, you know, I'm not going to trade the laggard on a funded account or a live account. You know, I'll demo it, right? Paper trade. And so we ended up trading higher, right? And then as soon as we took that low and traded off of it, I started watching. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll long that shit. And I not only long one, I thought I was on paper. I longed 2 NQ. So then immediately, like I'm into profit immediately, but I look at the math and I'm up like $80 as soon as I entered a trade. I'm like, what the fuck? And it turns out I was on my funded account. I said, oh shit. So I immediately closed it. Immediately closed that trade. And I was like, Jesus. So I was like, yeah, I had just woken up. I wasn't fully awake. I was like, that was so stupid. So I ended up logging out of everything, and I was like, all right, bro, you're done. You know what I mean? So anyway, moving forward, that ends up being our low of the day. Currently, we do make lower lows yet again. We rally, retracement, we rally, great. We retrace back into the gap. We've been in this gap this whole time. We leave behind equal lows. Now we're rallying. So that is why I said that this morning. Okay. In other words, the other two indices are rallying, and NQ's like, yeah, I'm going to trade lower, but I'm not going to go for those lows. And so we end up seeing a reversal. Does that make sense? How do you trade longs at all-time highs without targets when the market just pushes to the upside? Well, you can exit at a new high. And that's it. Or you can just hold it for the rest of the day to see if it rallies into the close, which I usually don't do at all-time highs, but it's definitely something that you can do. I don't usually do that, but you know, and I say these things because, you know, I don't know if you're trading one contract or if you're trading multiple contracts or if you're trading micros or whatever, or if you're trading CFDs. Like, I don't know what you guys are trading, and that's why there's so many options, no pun intended. There's so many different things that you could do with that information. Like, to answer your question, does that make sense? So, like, say for example, say I set my stop loss at the low and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to hold for those highs. I would say, all right, well, this is, if I was in this, I would be very, very emotionally frustrated because we have so much back and forth. You know, is basically like a high resistance run higher, and those are shit. Those are the worst, because this is what they do. They come back and make new lows on you. They come back, you know, as soon as it goes up, it just comes right back down again. And that is emotionally draining. So I would feel very hesitant, very frustrated. I would also say this is bullshit because I'm holding along with equal lows. I typically don't like doing that. I've done it. I just typically don't like to do it. So I feel like if this were me, again, if I was down from anywhere, or if I was in from anywhere down here, I probably would have exited at a new high here as a partial. If I did not, I would be anxiously waiting for a new high here to partial, which we might have actually gotten, but I can't tell. No, I don't think so. 236.5, 236. Oh no, that's equal highs. That's awesome. All right, another set of either equal highs or equal lows. That's great. So yeah, I would not like that. I mean, when the RR is way above the all-time highs. I don't understand what do you mean? Like your exit is like way the fuck up here? Why would you do that? I'm not saying you can't, but that would be all I'm looking for. 253, I'd probably put an exit at 254. Just 1 point. That's all I would ask for. 1 point above the high, and I'd be done. It's Friday. I'd say see you next week, and be done, and would not do anything else after that. Now, here's also what I have been watching. We go to ES. Again, we're still on regular trading hours, by the way. ES also had a slight gap, not a lot, but a very slight gap. And just like NQ, it rallies higher first. But what happens today is we never trade back below equities open. So that's a little bit interesting to me. Just above that at 6,008.5 is some small time frame triple lows. And I've been watching it. And at first I thought this mitigation would be okay, but this was like during lunch, and that's exactly why I almost never trade lunch, because it looks good and then it rips you a new one. So I don't think we're done for ES either. We have equal highs here. I don't think we've made a high day. It would not make sense to me if we did. We can, but I don't think this is done. And then Dow. Dow's been interesting to me as well. I was watching this too, and I did mention this a little bit later. It was way after the fact, but I said Dow had a nice 1 minute mitigation here, and I don't remember what I said after that. But that is our current high of the day. I don't know if this wants to trade higher either. It could, because we have another set of equal highs. So yeah, it's a weird day. It's an interesting day. But unless you scalp something like that, I'd be looking for longs. So now, does that make a little bit more sense? If ES isn't done, if Dow isn't done, and if NQ is going to catch up, I don't see why we can't take 253. You good with that? So it's trading the laggard. It's not terrible, but it's probably my least favorite thing to do. It's probably my least favorite way to trade. And now you kind of see why. Right? You're trying to long the weakest index. That's like the opposite of what is ideal. You want to long the strongest index or short the weakest index. So I don't try to put out like predictions that have too many steps ahead of them. But like what I could see for NQ, and we probably won't do this at all. This is just me, you know, it's speculation. It would make sense to me if we end up getting, you know, the 250, 250s, 260s, whatever, maybe even higher. And then if the other indices do end up making their high of day, if they've pulled back, I think NQ would have the easiest pullback, and it would make sense to get 196.5. Because again, those are like 1 minute equal lows, and that would make sense to me. If we don't, I'm not going to be mad. Like, I'll just, you know, that's one scenario that could happen. If we do end up trading lower, whether it be for these lows or a new low of day or even the 150s, I think the market would probably have a harder time, but these are now equal, which is very clean. And then those low resistance highs are just above that. So I don't know. Okay. I don't know. I'd have to watch it. I'd have to see. But that's like at least two things that I'm anticipating. Make sense? So as of right now, I don't see anything worth taking, at least on a 5 minute. I'm sure there's, you know, 1 minute things that you could look for, I guess, but this to me is a little bit lower probability entering like here. Entering anything here to me is slightly lower probability. Make sense? You guys got any questions? Because I don't have much for you other than what we've already talked about. You know, I guess we can go over Tesla real quick too then. Although I'd rather stay here. Let me ask you this. What level did I mention last night for Tesla? Which is the same level I've had for like 2 years. You guys remember what it was? And we talked about that at least 2 or 3 times this year. What was it? Chat seems stuck today. Are you guys still here? Or is my screen frozen? Alex C said 315 triple daily highs. Actually, you know what? We'll come back to NQ, but I will put an alert here. Yeah, 314.67. Mm-hmm. That was August/September of 2022. I have had that level there literally for years. That took 777 days, roughly. But yeah, it's finally there. It just took insane amount of time. What do you think got us there? Well, this is what's weird to me, because I did not anticipate this back then. I didn't anticipate that we would get there for the 2024 presidential election. I didn't even have that in the back of my mind back then, or even this year. But if you remember, I had put this in the market review yesterday. Y'all know I bought twice earlier this year. Because I said it twice. I had bought in here, and then I bought more literally in the 180s, like 183, 184. I fucking bought right there, dude. And then I got kind of not frustrated, but I was like, hey, we're entering the end of the year. Elections are coming up, and I don't want to hold, too much stock. So I ended up getting rid of Tesla. Literally, I got rid of it. And not even 3 months go by, and it hits my like long-term target. Do you guys realize, bro, from here and even from that lower entry, which brought my entry about halfway right here, bro, that's 54% in 90 days. Well, from right there, but it would be a little bit over that, but probably right around 3.5 to 4 months, and that would have been over 50%. So I definitely missed out on that. So can't win them all, chat. Can't win them all. But yeah, I outlined that in yesterday's market review. So what level did we hit today? Gapped up. Small retracement lower. Rally. Imbalance. Rally, retracement, rally, imbalance. And then we launch for that very level. So I wouldn't have day traded this personally, but if you would have watched it, or if you put that on your, I guess, alerts, you would have watched that today, which is cool. So, all right, there's your NQ. There's a new high of day here, which if I was super frustrated and I had something to do, I would absolutely get out here if I was in from earlier. I'd say, okay, let me just get out, because this is so, we just filled that gap too, basically. So now the question is, do we extend to 253 and above? And then let me see. So that means ES might have made a new high. Not yet. Not yet. And Dow is forming a big ass bull flag. So we'll see if we get that retail fade today, but not with distinct equal highs like that. I don't think that would work. And also, I mentioned this morning 43,806 as equal lows, and that was right near our open. We ended up trading lower to make a new low, and then we just instantly rallied, and now Dow is our strongest index today. So I would not look to short Dow today with the expectation of a new low, like a new low of day or 43,800. I don't think we're going to get that. So I would try to keep my expectations light in that regard for the Dow Jones. Okay. What's good, Lee Bright? What's good, Big James? What's good, Electric? Everybody's a little bit late today. That's all right. Justin wasn't, but all of you were late. You all missed the greatest lesson. The greatest lesson I ever gave. You all missed it. I'm just kidding. I didn't really teach anything, but imagine if I did. Was good 703. Book Maps is dead. Everything happened yesterday. I mean, indices are still flying today. I've never even looked at Book Maps, to be honest with you. I've only seen Book Maps when other traders have posted a screenshot of it, or like I've seen Top Step TV a couple times. You know, I'm rocking their hoodie today. You know what I'm saying? Not an endorsement. You know, not a paid sponsorship is what I'm trying to say. Not paid sponsorship, but you know, I made money on my funded account today, so I was like, fuck it, I'll put on the Top Step. I'll put on my hoodie today. So I don't know if you guys could tell, but yeah, got it on today. What's good, Leon? I probably should have rocked the hat too. I don't know what I did with it. I got a lot of hats, chat. I got a whole lot of hats. Leon was here. Nice. Very, very nice. Let's see, 28. Oh, look at that shit. There's your equal highs for ES. Told you we weren't done. Hold up. Wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished. No. The equal highs were there. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. Patience, my friends. Patience. Trading is so hard. Bias is so hard. Nobody knows where the stock market's going. Yeah, nobody knows anything. Nobody knows. I joined your channel and I cannot join your Discord. RIP. I sent you an email via messaging you from Instagram. An email. An email. You sent me an email. It's 2024, my friend, and you sent me an email. This is what we do. This is what we do. Brother, I have like 1,000 spam messages. I get like 3 emails a minute. So it's not gonna be looking good. It's not gonna be looking good for you, my friend. And yeah, Ricky, I would agree. You know, FOMC was yesterday, which was very uneventful. But, you know, I think you're right. But NQ, dude, NQ will, even at like a 200 point range, NQ can do some damage, bro. You can do really well. We're at like an 80 point, almost like a 85 point range on the day. Shit, at $20 a point per contract, you can still do pretty well. You can still do pretty well. All right, man. We're just like, we're getting there, baby. We're almost there, dude. Wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. You're welcome, chat. You get to watch live price. Dow struggling to get those highs. I don't even know where ES is gonna top out, dude. I have no idea. All-time highs, new high of day. I don't know what to do with that. Couldn't tell you. Yeah, there's that. So we did finally catch up, chat. We did finally catch up. But I would just note again how we did that. How did we do it? It rallies, makes a new low. It rallies and then makes a new low. And then it, stagnates for a while, especially a little bit during lunch. There's a decent imbalance here in the second half of lunch, leaving behind lows again. And then we're not even in a macro at the moment, but we finally get a new high of day. So that is how you trade laggards. You understand? It sucks. I hate it. I don't like it. There's your 260s. I don't like it because of this condition. Okay. So if we were to break this down in its entirety, actually, let's go to electronic because that's probably a new high of, or we probably just took yesterday's high, which is right here, which we did. 263 is actually yesterday's high. See that? And this I think is all-time highs too. Okay. But yeah, let's give this a full breakdown at least before we close out for the weekend. All right. If I were you, what I would do is go in the Discord and take that same screenshot that I gave you or the message of the screenshot that I gave you, and then I'd put that on the chart. So let me give you an example. Let me put up the be right back screen. So don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere, chat. Oh, you know what? I might have got rid of it. I did clean my computer earlier. All right, well, that's fucked. Go into Discord, screenshot the message, and then take that screenshot. You can upload a picture and put that bitch on a chart. Okay. And that would be right here. See this down candle here? See that right here? That is where I had mentioned it. So again, although this is very gross in my opinion, the 1, 2, 3 formation set the low of day. We don't take the lows here, right? We come down for a couple more lows, but we never make a new low of day. And what I would do if I were you as well is probably I would look at inversions in here. I would look at shit like that. So let me give you an example. I would study. This is going to be a very wide stop, and I do not recommend that, but you know, you got to study. Okay. That is your imbalance prior to, even though this wasn't a run on liquidity, that's our low of day. So we have an imbalance that does make a new low of day, right? So I would study this here. Okay. See what price does. Trades into it, off of it, into it, off of it, through it. So what would we anticipate here? Right there. Okay. As soon as actually at 10:26 is when we close through it. But what would you now anticipate moving forward? If your low of day is down here, the current low of day, and your target is up here, 253, right? From the target down to the low at 161 and a quarter, what could you anticipate? Well, here, this is a premium. So ideally, we would want to get as close to 50% as possible or below it. All right. And there you have it. Multiple times. Okay. Trades into the inverted imbalance here. Rallies. That probably would have broken me even at lunch. If I was in like from anywhere in here, that probably would have broken me even. And I would have been like, man, fuck. We spent a little bit more time in the inversion, then we rally, imbalance here, and then we watched this on the live stream today. Okay, did we not? Did we not spend most of our time today on NQ to see if it would trade up there? We did. We did. Okay. So on a 5-minute time frame, it looks a little bit different, obviously, because that's that 1 minute. And check this out. Where is that inversion? Where is it? It's in that big gray box, right? Now, you really want to get cheeky. And this is the work that you guys don't put in. I know you fucking don't. Most people don't. I try to tell you all the time, though, and you never listen. If you have a large concept, right, especially a gap, gaps are usually going to be large. What do? You cut it in half, right? Where's that inversion? It's in the discount end of the gap. Ooh, you like that shit? You like that, chat? Even though I'm like losing viewers. Like right when the lesson comes in, everyone's like, oh man, fuck this guy. Fuck him. Okay. 50% and lower, that's the discount end of the gap. And 50% into the gap fill is the premium end of the gap. You didn't look at it that way, did you? I don't always look at it this way because it's a lot to look at, but it worked. Okay. It worked just like that. So there's your full picture. Okay. Low resistance highs. 1, 2, 3 formation, low. Retracements in here were very, it's very manipulates like that. Sucks, obviously. You have another inversion in here too. Right there. Oh, you know what? That's a good point too. We'll come in here and look at it a little bit more. And this is like one of my favorite things to do. Literally, it's one of my favorite things to do. Low, high, lower low, higher high. That is the 2 up candles put together prior to that manipulation. And again, this is going to look a little weird, but there's your inverted imbalance right there, right? Liquidity run here. Imbalance on the way there, even though there's like a small one right here, but that never gets traded back into. This one does, right? Because it creates an imbalance, tags it to go short or to go lower, right? What was once bearish becomes what? Bullish. See that right there? At 10-10, right there. Hits it again. Hits it again. And I don't think we hit that a third time. But you see that? So you see a lot of confluence in here. Now again, trading the lagger is my least favorite way to trade. It's frustrating because this is what it does. Comes back for lows over and over and over again, but eventually runs to your target. And as someone who does not like or is not disciplined in patience, this will make you want to just put a hole in the fucking wall. Okay? It can still be done, but this is my least favorite way to trade. But nonetheless, gap, premium, and discount. Overall, from the low to the target, this was also a discount. And we watched expansion live on the stream on a 5-minute time frame. Now, I did say something in here would be lower probability. And, you know, that's exactly what I believed. Okay. But nonetheless, price respected that down candle right there. So in an ideal world, 1225 might have been a good scalping entry as a NCE, as like a next candle entry. Like, oh shit, we got highs, even though we're in a premium, but we've already worked the dude, we stayed all day in a discount. Like, price just sat there all day in a discount. And when we finally spend a little bit of time in premium, we don't spend a lot of time there because it's going to run for the liquidity. That's why I chose to watch Nasdaq today, not the others. Okay. So was that cool? You know, even though I didn't trade it, you may not have traded it either, but to still to watch live price, drop a 2 in the chat if you at least enjoyed it. Seeing that expansion of like all of like 30 points, 40 points, nothing crazy, but you know, we got to witness that. You know, does that help give you confidence in understanding price? I may not always take a winning trade. I may not always get it right. You know, look, dude, look at ES. I was off by the low of the week by 1 tick. We never got the 724 level or 742, whatever the level was. We missed it by 1 tick. I'm not always right. But sometimes I get it right, which is cool. So, anyway, Lewis, I don't know if you're still here. I didn't mean to like just move on, but this is a live stream and I do teach. I don't know what else to tell you. Everyone else is in the Discord already. You know, they figured it out. I'm pretty sure you can figure it out too. The instructions have been on my community tab. You go to your Discord user settings, you sign into your YouTube, and then you can join the Discord. Everyone else has done it. Over 180 people have done it. So you can do it too. Still looking for a short on NQ? Slim. You disgust me. No, I'll just play it. Do whatever you want, broski. Do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. Oh, and there's your 3 for 3. Dow reaching into those equal highs. So, not the greatest move in the world either, but we saw that. And yeah, ES just raging higher. Dow was the leader earlier, but and by the numbers it still is, but on a price action basis, it has not made a new high of day where ES has. So this might continue higher. Now, again, one of the scenarios that I outlined earlier, like, oh, we might come up here to make a new high. And then if we retrace to go lower, the 196 would be in the crosshairs. So I'd watch for that. But again, just be careful. All right. It's been a very, very bullish week. But I guess if we were to look for shorts, NQ is the weakest. And that's what I would favor over shorting the other two. All right. So I'll take all of this off. I would actually take that off too. And it may not be exactly like a market maker sell model here, but that's what I would look for if I was trying to short. Consolidation, which ended up being accumulation here. Like it traded back into consolidation there, and then accumulation to go higher. So we might see 196, but I would have wanted to see a higher high here versus a lower high, personally. Capitalist, I almost never hold contracts to expiry. Thank you, Ray. I forget what it's called. It's like a oil. I put oil in it yesterday. Because I saw the lady that cuts my hair at Starbucks yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" And she was like, "You should put beard oil in your beard." I was like, "All right, I guess I will then." So I did yesterday. I need to trim it though. It's a little bit too long. It's all good. I need to take partials on it. You know what I mean? I gotta trim some of that position, you know? Slim, you're short? Where are you short at? Up here? Dude, you're like a thug, man. Look at that hourly candle. Look at that hourly candle, shorting above old highs. Look at you. Where was the signal, G? Where was the signal? You, Ricky, Lee Bright, nobody gives me a signal. I always tell you guys what I think. Y'all never tell me shit. What is up with that? What is up with that, chat? Philosophical Friday. Anyway, I'm going to end it here. We're kind of like drifting lower in viewership, so I know you guys want to hurry up and get to your weekend. That's fine. Do what you got to do. Like, you know, I ain't gonna hold you to it. But book of the month for this month, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers of all time, Epictetus, and he is the reason why I have my lock screen is Epictetus. Y'all know down here, right? Y'all know down here, that's a quote from Epictetus, the same thing that's in my phone screen. It's not things that upset us. It's our judgments about things. So where do you think that comes from? Comes from that, well, specifically, I don't remember. It might be the Enchiridion or somewhere in the book. Because I have different versions of this. It might be in the notes that I have. But you know what's funny is this book actually, I never marked it up. I never highlighted anything. What I did is I wrote shit down instead. And now I regret that. But the first time I read this book was years ago. I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick before we hop off. Well, I marked up one thing. I don't know why I did that. All right, can't find it. That's fine. Anyway, if you guys are going to read, do it. I don't care what you read, but if I had to say what you should read, it would be Discourses and Selected Writings by Epictetus. All right. But again, if you want to read something else, go for it. As long as you're reading something, I think that's good. Regardless if you give the middle finger to what I tell you. So have a blessed weekend. Maybe Roy. I don't know. He was that would be impossible to figure out, but you'll have a good weekend. We will, fate permitting, be back here on Monday the 11th. Monday the 11th. Okay. If something comes up, pay attention on Sunday night and Monday morning. If something comes up, I'll say something in the community, on the community tab, and I'll say something in the Discord. But if I don't say anything, then we'll be here. All right. So y'all be good, man. And I will see you next time.